All right.
So I
Good day, everyone. Good evening. It's a little bit, few minutes to 6 here. It's 5:56 p.m. West African time. So I don't know what time it will be wherever you are, in Canada or in Texas, or other places. I see my friend Huey from Namibia is there. Hi to you. Okay. Samad, and actually giving a talk thing a try for the first time. So like Jay mentioned already, this is a community whereby we get to try out things before we go out to the main stage. So I actually intend to give the same talk at the PyCon US, hopefully, if it gets accepted. So this is more like a practice session for me. So today I intend to talk about an interesting topic, something I also recently just got to know about, and I found it really useful, and I was inclined from the start. It's a part of our lives now, one that we can't do without talking about whatever sector it is that we're working in, or even as live our daily lives personally. It's something that affects us, especially in more advanced countries in the likes of the US and the Western countries. It's a key topic that's is always discussed. Sometimes it's even one of the key questions that the presidential candidates get asked. What are your plans on sustainability? What are the implementations you seek to impose during your tenure to ensure that we are developing sustainably? What regulations are you imposing on companies that are doing this and that? Yeah, intros aside, I titled this talk "The Debts We Cannot Afford to Pay," a pitch about sustainability in tech development, because I see this as something where it's so crucial that we can't ignore. And if we ignore, it results in an effect, a consequence so detrimental that it will lead to the loss of not just money. It leads to the loss of three key things: triple P, as some might like to call it: profit, people, and the planet. Apologies to sustainability experts if they might be listening to this, that I mentioned the planet last, because that seems to be like the main aspect of sustainability. Any discussion about sustainability is more about the planets, then the people, then the profits that comes with it. So we should ensure that we are inculcating sustainability practices or sustainable practices in our developments. And in the second page, we see these things around us every day. Apple releases a new version of the iPhone every year. They do the same for the Mac PCs and all of the other manufacturing companies too, the likes of Microsoft, ASUS. They also release their various models yearly, twice a year, and a lot of things that comes out regularly, and they are made from something. They are gotten from something. The parts that are used to make these phones, ships, laptops, they are processed from raw materials. It could be the lithium used in batteries, or cobalt, or the other materials that are used in semiconductor manufacturing, because almost every device today, did I say almost? Actually, all devices today make use of some form of semiconductor, or the processor chip, whatsoever. And we have rapid growth in this sector. So this is an area of tech development that has to ensure that proper regulations, adequate regulations are put in place to keep the planet safe for us. Because at some point, when we keep extracting these raw materials, whether through deforestation or mining or drilling or whatsoever method, it's eventually, these resources are not infinite. So eventually we're going to run out of them. And at the point, because we have set series of applications, series of practices on top of these raw materials. So when the raw material ceases, then it's like a domino effect. Everything from the top down to the bottom collapses, and it leads to several losses for the people. So we should ensure it's preached by sustainability experts that we should ensure that our method of manufacturing, right from the raw material extraction down to even the delivery to the consumer. Some might think it ends with the manufacturers. They get the raw material, they process it. They are probably burning a lot of gases, releasing a lot of gases to the air during the manufacturing process. This is unsafe. But once it's out of jail, then that's it. But no, it doesn't end there. It also applies to the supply chain, the value chain. As the finished product comes from the company, it goes through the distributors that supply it down to the consumers. And even at the retailers, maybe at the store or at the mall, there are also effects that have to be monitored. The likes of the storage practices, maybe through refrigeration or some other method that contributes to the carbon emission, which is a major concern with sustainability. So technically, they would explain this as the level 1, level 2, level 3. Level 1 is the one that the company, the manufacturing company, handles all the costs by themselves. While level 2 is more like one that has to do with the affiliations of the manufacturing company. So you are buying the raw materials from a source that is producing gas unsustainably. It also has an impact on you. And the level 3 is the one that is more indirect, but still falls back to the manufacturer, like I explained earlier already, in the stores, the malls, storage practices, and all of that. So the agenda for this talk, we're going to explain what is sustainability, how our activities affect us, the efforts that are being carried out to solve this problem. Then we're going to get into the main topic, which is sustainability in tech. So under that, we are going to discuss about sustainability in open source and open source in sustainability. So actually, my slides only cover the first 3 sections. So for the last 2, we're going to wing it. But thankfully, I got help from a friend who showed me some resources. He also told me about what he's doing. Open source to monitor different activities that take place around the Milky Way and, reports essentially and, raise the alert when things are going out of hand. So to start with, what is sustainability? Many of us would have seen this chart before. The 17 Sustainable Development Goals championed by the United Nations. No poverty, zero hunger, good health and well-being, all the way down to the last one, partnership for the goals. which I guess means something like constant efforts between different industries and sectors. So now, what is sustainability? I'm going to be quoting the United Nations Portland Report released in 1987. It says developments that meet the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. Like I explained before, the case of raw material extraction, we should ensure that we don't use it all up for our own use, because I like to quote something that a wise man said. He said, the earth that we live in today does not belong to us. Instead, it is something we have loaned from the future generations. So we should ensure that we hand it over to them in the best condition that we can. So that means we shouldn't deteriorate the entire environment for our future generations. We should ensure we leave for them something that they too can enjoy, just as we have enjoyed our own time on Earth. So development that meets the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. So by this definition, we begin to look into other alternatives. Sustainability experts, they've been going on and on about, green economy, circular economy, recycling, and all of that as, methods to improve our sustainability practices. So the dimensions of sustainability.
Really quick, Steloy, I think that the slides that we're looking at are like one slide before the slide that you're on.
Oh,
because you
okay.
just switched to that. There
Which
we
one
go.
are you seeing?
Now we see dimensions of sustainability.
Oh, okay. It's showing in two pairs on my end, so I didn't know which one you were seeing.
Oh, sorry. There you go.
All right. So the dimension of sustainability, like I mentioned before, what we have to lose if we keep on with our unsustainable practices. We keep on burning the atmosphere, releasing harmful gases into the environment, carbon dioxide and methane. They are the two major greenhouse gases of concern that causes depletion of the ozone layer, leading to unfavorable conditions of the planet Earth. So if we keep up with this, we would eventually come to lose three things: our environment, our economy, and also our society. So that is why we have to ensure that the three counter aspects of this are monitored. So now moving on, the effects of unsustainable practices. We call the first one environmental degradation and biodiversity loss. Unsustainable practices like deforestation, overfishing, and pollution, they damage ecosystems and reduce biodiversity. Those could lead to ecological imbalance. This could lead to ecological imbalance or some other adverse environmental disasters. We've been seeing lots of natural disasters lately: the tsunami, the hurricanes, the floodings, and all of that. Also, they could lead to health problems: industrial waste, vehicle emissions, and improper waste disposal can contaminate air, water, and soil, leading to respiratory and cardiovascular diseases such as cancer and other health issues. We've also got economic instability and resource scarcity. The overuse of natural resources like water, minerals, and fossil fuels can lead to shortages and price spikes, I'm actually going to explain all of this better when we get into the tech aspect of it. That is what majority of us will be able to relate to better. We've got increased natural disasters and climate change. And also the worst part of it all, permanent consequences. That is the total damage of our environments, making it unlivable for the future generations. I mean, we don't want life on Earth to end with us. Okay, so that is the end of my slides. So I'm gonna do a little bit of pivot here and start speaking in technical terms to explain the concept of sustainability. So it's quite common today that a lot of us work, and in our workplaces, we work with servers, or our company usually have servers, several computers, networks, and various computational resources. So it's the key responsibility of the company and some of the teams, the financial team and the development team, to ensure that they maximize the resources without burning out a lot of these resources. So for the developers, it's more prescribed to write efficient codes. If the code can run in 10 seconds, then it shouldn't run in 10.1 seconds. That 0.1 seconds would add up over time and lead to extra costs for the company, especially if you are using a cloud service. I wouldn't mention the name of the popular one that people complain about a lot. So it's more like we are trying to ensure that we are not going beyond our set budgets for maybe our cloud resource or our network allocation, bandwidth allocation or something. So that's one of the ways by which sustainability applies to tech. Also, I guess I'm running out of time here, so I'll just switch to the last section, open source in sustainability. I'm a bit off balance here. On set, I just got off the bus and I have to do this. Open source in sustainability. So I reached out to a friend, Tobias, of open source thing. So his company focuses on these aspects, the sustainability of planet Earth by using various technology, geospatial monitoring, data science, and all of that. So you can visit the website opensustain.tech. There are several projects that he has highlighted there that are open source. We can also contribute to that do some of these things. Some monitor the carbon emission over time. Some focuses on a particular company, while some are just generic. They just measure the carbon emission over time. Some also look into space. They use satellite data to map out, particles in space. It's common now that we have a lot of space visits, rockets going into space every day, and these rockets, they leave remnants. When they blow off and the parts come apart, they leave off remnants in space, and over time, this has become a concern even that people are already making complaints that Pluto is also becoming polluted at the moment, even though we've not begun to live in there. So it's a major concern, and some guys are out there making good efforts to keep this in check. I guess I'll end it here.